One of the most important things while traveling is to prepare yourself for all sorts of scenarios, but you must keep in mind that your loved ones also have concerns. Don't neglect those.
Hi, and welcome to lesson number 7.
Today we're going to talk about doing it right. Do the right thing. And what we mean about that is there's a lot of people who have concerns about what you're doing. It's not just you. They have questions and they're worried, and you have to do the right thing. You have to help them not be worried and get answers to all these questions that they might have.
Because this big step you're making is also making very big questions for everyone around you. And you will be surprised of how many questions and how many different questions you'll get. Of course, we got these worrying questions from our parents and our kids of what are we going to do about robbery or people doing bad things on our trip.
We had to assure them that we were aware of the dangers out there, and that we had taken our precautions with alarms and gas detectors, and we were taking care of where we were walking or sleeping, or that we had thought about it. And I think that was their biggest concern, was, have you thought about it? And yes, we had, and they were a bit more calm after that.
Yeah, after you assure them that safety first. That was a very big question for them, that we understood that they were worried of us maybe not taking this precaution or this precaution, but making sure of that we were on the same side.
Yeah, and then assuring them that we will be in contact on social media or telephone or email or anything. We will be in contact. You will hear from us. So that was important for them to know. Also our friends and everybody who cared about us. We will be in contact, and you can contact us anytime.
Even a letter. They still work, don't they? Yeah.
I think you can buy a stamp somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You might find some questions odd or strange, or why do people have to ask about that? But that's what people are thinking about, and that's their concerns, and to do it right you have to answer these questions, because there are no stupid questions.
But make sure to answer all of the questions, even if they sound silly to you.
And even though you have answered that same questions again and again and again.
Just be happy that someone puts an interest in you and your well-being.
And it's an amazing feeling to feel that people are interested in what you're going to do and how your life is going to be. So don't be annoyed by it or let people down. They could be people who didn't care about you, and that would be quite sad. So they're interested in what you're doing and if you are okay.
Especially my parents. They were asking many silly questions. They were silly to me because of course I've thought of that, and of course I'm thinking of that. But to them, they just want to make sure that you have the things in mind, and you know that they are thinking about your new adventure.
Sometimes there are questions that you can't answer, but still tell people polite that you're not able to answer that question. One of the questions we have gotten the most is, what are you gonna do when you get old? Right now we are 50, both of us, and we've been traveling for almost 4 years. So we don't know what happens when we get old. We wouldn't know that when we were in Denmark either. But people have great concern about what happens when you get old. And we have politely told people that we don't know. We try to make the best out of it, as we would have done in any other situation, and even if we stayed back home. So that's also something you have to remember, that you can't answer all questions, but at least you can answer politely that you don't know. Another question that someone has asked us is, how are you going to live together 24/7? And that's another one of these questions that you can't answer them. How could you? We had to live together 24/7, so we had to solve it on the way. But again, that was a question that we couldn't answer. But we couldn't say to people, what a stupid question, because we had to be honest and say, we don't know yet. We have to find out. Yeah. And we managed. So even though there wasn't an answer to the question.
But what if you get sick of each other? What if you will take it when we get there?
Yeah.
Because if we keep on staying on the same spot, worrying about what is going to happen, then we're just gonna keep on standing on that spot forever.
Yeah. And we didn't want to stand on that spot. But now we can answer these questions about, what about when you get old, or how can you live together 24/7? We can answer them now because we have the experience. But before we left, we still answered people kindly. We don't know yet. We have to find out. So be kind all the way through. Another question is, what about the money? That's also something people ask a lot. And as you learned yesterday, we are still earning money while being on the road. And because you have found out yesterday what you want to do on the road, if you want to do something, then you can answer people that question. Well, I'm going to, and they will be satisfied. They will at least know that you have thought about this, that you're not just jumping into something that might hurt you, because basically that's what people are afraid of, that you will get hurt.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Don't ever say that, because that just makes them worried. Don't you have a plan, or don't you know what to do? But deep inside we knew what to do when we got there.
So we told people to make them calm again.
Don't worry. We will know how to make some money when we come to that. Again, it's because they care.
Yeah, it's all about care and interest. It would be rather bad if they just, okay, go ahead, travel. That would be strange, and that would actually mean that nobody really cared about what you were doing. And help people feel good about your leaving, because you can burn so many bridges behind you if you don't want to answer questions, or you think, this is stupid, I've answered this question a million times before, or what kind of question is that? You can burn a lot of bridges that will be important for you later, and something that will be hard for you to pick up on while being on the road. So don't make anybody sad or angry before you leave. Be polite and be kind. Don't be irritated about the craziest little questions there might be.
And you might think that writing it on Facebook or an Instagram post, that's enough information for people, but they will still have questions.
Some people might not have read it, and some people might have additional questions, or you didn't answer exactly what their thoughts were. So you can't just expect people to see a Facebook update and then have no more questions, because they will have, and they will have today, and they will have tomorrow, and there will come new questions, and they will demand, maybe not demand, but they would really want answers to these questions. People are thinking about, and
9 out of 10 times I was telling and I was answering questions, I got the feeling that they would trade my place in a second if they could. And I've always got these, boy, you got courage to do that. I wish I had your courage.
A lot of people might actually have all these questions for you, because deep down inside you're doing something that they would love to do themselves. So you're the hero. You're the one walking in the front of what they might do later in life when they have seen you succeeded in it. So these questions are also curiosity, and they are learning something every time you answer this question. So go ahead and talk to people and do it right instead of burning bridges behind you. What you're doing right now is actually super courageous. Yeah, you might not feel that way, but you're doing something right now by taking this course and planning on, I want to be a traveler. You're doing something now that very few people actually dare to do.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna keep on being dreamers, and that's why you're taking the course from dreamer to doer, because you're gonna do this, and everybody else can just keep on dreaming.
Yeah, like you did for quite some time, but you're on the right track now and you're actually doing this. And that is why a lot of people also have a lot of questions, because this is utopia to many people. How can he do this? Or how can she do this? How is it possible? Yeah. But show them the way and answer their questions, so they don't live in fear, and they might be so calm that they're gonna do the same one day, because everybody deserves to become a doer and actually live out the dream of traveling.
You might even get a question that can lead to a person who knows something or somebody that can help you on the way in your planning. Maybe you will get a question that you didn't even think about, or maybe this question leads you to another question that you will have, and you will seek out the answer and get more experience from that. And what is more worth than experience?
Or information. You could seek out information, because maybe this question that some person has leads to something that you hadn't thought about at all, and something that is crucial for your travel, or something that will do something extra for your travel, and then you can seek out information. So sometimes it's also great to hear questions, because you might learn something new. Maybe people have experienced something that you can use while traveling, or they know somebody who knows something about a subject that is pretty important for you. It can be something that you have to use on the way or in your planning, or how to earn money while traveling, or someone says, I have a job for you when you are traveling, or I have an uncle who has a newspaper and he wants some articles about traveling. And there are many things that can pop up if you invest yourself in these questions, and that's why it's so important to do it right. You don't want to leave everything behind burning because you had no time, or you didn't have any desire to answer people's questions.
You might even get to know a person or an experience that will save you some money and time. So just use these questions like a helping hand or good information for yourself to help you. So the more you speak to people and answer their questions, and maybe have questions for them, the more calm you will be in the whole situation and the whole planning of your travel.
And maybe even more confident in what you're doing, because you have been putting this off for quite a while, and the more you answer questions, and the more you seem like this is serious and this is what you're gonna do, you're actually also convincing yourself that well, this is the way this question has to be answered. So it's not just assuring other people, it's also assuring yourself along the way while you answer all these questions.
And that's very important.
So all in all, be kind. Answer questions politely. Don't think that some questions are stupid, and if you can't answer a question, then be honest and say, I don't know yet, but as soon as I know, I'll let you know, because then you calm people down.
So lesson for today was doing it right. And now you got some pointers of how to do that.
Yes. Don't neglect the people who care for you.
Just enjoy the care they have for you.
Yeah. You're gonna need it. You always need people's care. Care is great. Sadly, you'll probably have to deal with a few negative questions too, but don't let them get to you. Those people will always exist.